Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, as we're relaxing as per usual. It's basically the last day-ish of our outfight. Well, last full day of our outfight. How much of my outfight stuff have I done? Well, I finished off one of the attacks and I got some progress through another. I would say I'm being a bit lazy. I should have done some drawing this morning. I couldn't really be bothered. I feel like I still have a bit of a remnant mental fog existing, but I will say, like hot water bottle or equivalent, very, very helpful, I think, for a stomachache. So, hello everyone. We're now in Fawnhallow. It's 4:01 PM on Saturday, August 1st, 2026. Welcome to August. We'll see how I feel tomorrow to see if I actually do stream or not. I will warn you, I may end up cancelling it if I still feel a bit iffy, to be honest, or I may just have it be a short one. I don't know. We'll have to see. But after this, you know, I'm gonna go record some art, not record some art fight. I'm gonna go do some more art fight. But yeah, apart from that, I don't think anything particularly crazy has been going on. I've just mostly sort of been chilling, playing a few other games, sort of like trying to catch up with events, catching up with Woo-Wah events, trying again end State Matrix. Still can't do it particularly well, so I still need a better build or a better rotation. I don't know which, probably both. I think the awkward part is a lot of my builds don't have quite enough energy regen, so after the first rotation, the rotations get really scuffed. But that's okay, because I'm on the point where I've leveled up all the characters and the talents. I just need to get a better build now. Anyway, what are we going to talk about today? I don't know. Should I talk about Imposter Factory? I don't know, because I feel like that only makes sense if I talk about them as a series in a whole, but I haven't even... Like, it's been so long since I played To the Moon and Finding Paradise that I don't super remember. Like, I kind of remember the plots, because I can't remember who it was now. There was someone in the chat who really liked the series, who discovered the stream and then was very helpful in giving me the factual information about what happens. I'm also trying to be very careful in my drawing, because I'm like, I can certainly feel like my wrist is getting tired for the amount of drawing I've done. I mean, this happens, I think, every art fight. Is like I start strong and then it's like slowly and slowly I'm feeling the pain in my wrist, and so I'm just like, okay, let's give it a break. Let's not overdo it. But I do want to finish off these ones I had today. Well, not finish them off. I think what I'd want to do is I'd want to get the line art done, but for flat colours ideally done on all of them today, if possible. I don't know if that will be possible, but we'll find out. Because I think it's doable. Because normally I only start drawing at 9, and then we'll finish at like 1 or something, and then I'll be like, I've done one from start to end. So if I start now at 4, theoretically it should be better. I don't really know. Your mileage may vary. We'll have to see. How does my stomach feel? It feels okay, I would say. Like I got another stomachache again last night. I found some old sleepy time tea, which I was given to by my friends, actually, I think 3 years ago or something, as part of like a gift to me. It was one of the gift project things. They did some like how do I say, like flowers, essentially, like Lego model flowers, and they did like a self-care kit which had like a bath bomb, like bath stuff, and then they also had some sleepy time tea. I remember that, and I found it again, and I was like, because you know, as I said, I was reading online, ginger tea, peppermint tea apparently very good for upset stomachs. I did use my Animal Crossing mug. It was very convenient, I would say. And yeah, I will say though, the tea is certainly expired, and I was just like, does tea expire? And when I googled it, and it said it should probably be fine. Like, it's probably not like good. The one you should be concerned about is if it has fruit like things in it and it's got mold. And I did check it and I smelled it and I was like, it seems fine. I don't see any mold. It tastes okay. So I was like, okay, I think this is probably fine. But I am still a little bit cautious about it nonetheless. Because you never know. Maybe there is mold. Maybe it's hard to distinguish. It's not like I have the most... Oh, I didn't mean to do this. Refined palette in the world. But yeah, best before dates. It's always very wild, I think, when you have, oh gosh, a best before date from ages ago. Because I think I had it recently. I can't remember what it was for, like red wine vinegar. Because I used to at Christmas time. Well, I still do, I guess. Make beef Wellingtons. I don't know how it's going to be this year, to be honest. Oh, hold on. I just got a message. I need to respond to this. Is that something outside? Was that delivery? Hold on. Let me check that real quick. Does not seem like it was delivery. I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, expiry dates or something. No, okay, beef Wellington rams it. And then one of the things is the sauce that I use uses like a red wine vinegar. And it's this Gordon Ramsay recipe or something which I followed. And then it's something I don't really think about until every single time when it's like, oh, time to make that again. And then I look and check red wine vinegar and it's like, oh, it's expired. Like, because in my mind I'm like, okay, I have red wine vinegar, don't need to buy it. Of course, it's actually expired because I basically never use it outside of that. So I think, oh, hello, you are stinky, right? Stop using it for the actual sauce. Also because, I don't know, I can never get the amount of red wine vinegar in it right to make it actually taste good, I feel like it's too overpowering. We also have an absolutely absurd amount of Lily of the Valleys right now. Are we starting a 5th layer? I guess we're starting a 5th layer. Alright, then. May we flood this place with Lily of the Valleys. But yeah, I mean, it's quite common to, forget about expiry dates on foods. Especially on those ones which you don't touch that often. Like, I think it'd be crazy to forget about it on, like, say, banana or something. I mean, they don't even come with expiry dates. You just kind of look and see if they're ripe or not. But I think, you know, things like, I don't know, some certain spices or something. I don't even know if spices really expire all that often, to be honest. Well, something you don't use very often, like, for example, this red wine vinegar, I mean, that certainly expires. Although it's like, you know, a phase where you're going through experimental, trying new recipes, and, you know, one of them requires, like, some sort of fish paste. And then you're like, oh, you're not that big a fan of a recipe which is made in the end, so then you never use it for anything. I think it's, you know, it's something I need to do. It's like, if I do that, I need to, like, find another recipe which uses it, so I actually use it up rather than just have it sort of sit there and forget about it. And then someone's like, oh, I make a new recipe, and it's like years down the line, and be like, oh yeah, I definitely have this. I remember I made this one recipe once which used it, and I look and I was like, that was 6 years ago or something. Probably not quite that extreme, I would say, but still. But yeah, that's what it kind of felt like with the tea bags. So I don't know if that's good or bad necessarily. I did just get an email saying, oh, okay, my ribbit plush from Digital Circus is on the way. An amazing Digital Circus finale poster, there you go. That's on its way. A lot of things on its way. Okay, cool. Am I displaying them all? No. I did receive one poster. I don't know where to put it because it's actually way bigger than I thought it would be. I'm not really sure what I do with posters, to be honest. I do like posters. Well, I like prints, I think. Maybe. But I'm also so minimalist that maybe I don't like prints. I was gonna find a nice place for me to put them, I think. Anyway, but that's a topic for another time. We're talking about expiry dates right now. I have this random memory as well of going with my neighbours. Well, not my immediate neighbours, but when I was a child. Next door neighbours. I was joining their family on like a shopping trip or something to a local store. I remember they bought biscuits. We brought it outside, and then one of the kids, who was I think 1 year older than me, he started it like, he opened the packet, started eating them, and then he like looked at the expiry date as it was happening, and he was like, oh no, these expired. And then I remember his dad being like quite upset about that sort of thing, but I can't remember what he did. I think they just were like, does it taste okay? And we just kept eating it. Something like that. I mean, to be fair, that local store, has an interesting time. Inconsistency, shall I say, with its food produce. There was one time I walked in, I can't remember what I was trying to buy. I was trying to buy something, and I would say it reeked. It was probably one of the worst smells I ever smelled, and I was like, what is happening in here? And then I found out that basically like all their freezers like stopped or something, like broke down as like an entire section which had all like meat or stuff in it, and it rotted overnight. I think it must have been during summertime or something, or something like that. I don't know. Some section rotted. Maybe it was a videodiary section or something, and it just stunk like absolute. It was the worst thing ever. I cannot remember what I was buying, but I was almost scared that like if I bought, obviously it's not how it works, and like my asthma is not a thing, but I was like, if I buy something here, it's gonna like contaminate the thing I bought and just be an absolutely atrocious thing to deal with. Again, obviously not how it works, but your brain can't help but make those associations sometimes, or at least my some, let's say, call of avoid is a bit strong, but obsessive thoughts, I suppose, regarding contamination and things like that. I forgot what I was going to say about it, to be honest, but yeah, I don't know. Any other interesting expiry dates? I remember once back in orchestra, back in primary school. Yes, I was in a primary school orchestra. With my school, it was always immediately after school, so a lot of the kids had like extra snacks that they brought that day to eat. I don't think I ever did, but I remember one of my friends, she did. She always had like prawn and cocktail crisps or some sort of crisps to eat. And then I remember she was eating them, and then she looked and she was like, whoa, these crisps are 3 years expired. And we were all like, whoa, 3 years expired, that's crazy. And then we all had some. And then I remember I had a crazy stomachache during that orchestra thing. But I don't actually know if it actually was caused by the crisps. I mean, when I say crazy, it wasn't that crazy. It was just like my stomach felt uncomfortable. And I was completely unsure if it was actually caused by the crisp or not, or if it was just in my own head. I should probably cut myself a bit more slack and be like, yeah, probably it was actually caused by the crisps, but I don't know, it didn't have mold or anything on it. But it's weird, like, how things work sometimes in your head. I've been like, oh, things expired. Obviously it said best before date, but the best thing you can do is judge it by sight, judge it by smell, judge it by taste, of if something is okay to eat. Some things just don't take risks on, you know. Things like meat, things that are like very perishable, like seafood. If it's like expired, I'm like, there's no way. If it tastes like even if it was before the expiry date and it tasted off, I probably wouldn't eat it because, you know, just in case. But then some things you just kind of like send it, you know, like tea bags, right? On a bag of crisps, which are 3 years expired. As long as it doesn't have mold, it doesn't taste off. I guess it'd probably be hard to tell with prawn cocktail crisps because they have quite a sort of acrid, sour taste in the first place. Anyway. What I mean to say is that expiry dates, which are now best before dates, are pretty useful, but also at the same time, we need like a sliding scale to the side of expiry date, which means like, how bad is it if this food expires? Or how likely is it that this food expires and it's something that you shouldn't risk it on? You know, as I say, meat, fish, things which are generally kept refrigerated, if past expiry date, definitely don't risk it. That's awful. But then also, like, my brain at the same time is like, if it's something hyper preserved, like if I found marshmallows is not a good example, but if I found like well, like honey is one of them, like, right, because honey isn't meant to expire, but also a lot of honey does have expiry dates because of XYZ reason. Like if I saw honey was expired, I'd be like, that's probably fine. Which I think I don't know if that's is that reckless or is that just like normalcy, you know? Because I'm sure a lot of people will probably eat something which is past expiry date because it's like, oh, well, no, so be it. How bad could it be? I mean, you might regret it or you might not, I don't know. There's a certain level of risk, I suppose, of everything you do, and I suppose it's up to you to determine where are the boundaries of which you draw your stopping points when it comes to, well, food and ingestion past best before dates. Things like milk, don't do it. Awful idea. Things like a lollipop. From 4 years ago, would you risk it? I don't know. Maybe. I can't imagine wanting a lollipop that badly or keeping it that long. I think a lot of the times if I get candy or sweets, I would probably just give them to friends because I'm like, I'm never going to eat this. What happens, you forget. The tea is kind of like, well, the tea is interesting because despite the fact it's called sleepy time tea, I don't often like drinking non-water before I go to sleep because then it's like, now it feels like I need to brush my teeth again or something. I mean, it's literally sleepy time tea. Isn't that kind of what it's for? I don't know. I'm sure these are things which are just drilled into for me as a child, and then I've basically what's the word? It's become like my de facto modus operandi in a way that I didn't even realise. And I don't even think about. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a thing of it where it's like, it's completely fine to drink tea after you brush your teeth at night or something, but in my brain it's like, my teeth will fall out and rot or something if I don't do that. Well, okay, maybe not that extreme, but it's like, for maximum cleanliness, I shouldn't do that. Which probably is true, but it's also like, I don't know, again, there's a risk tolerance in your life of, you have to evaluate yourself of what you're comfortable drawing a line at. And I don't know, I guess I'm taking time to myself right now to sort of evaluate and be like, well, is my risk tolerance too high or too low? I don't really know. That's just kind of where I am at the moment. What does that even mean? I don't know. Anyway, on that note, I think I'll round this episode up here. I don't think there's anything else I can say about this. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Adam Crossing New Horizons. I've been there, darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.